Yeah, so welcome to another session of ScatterYarn. Hope you're having a fantastic day. And if you're not, we're sending you positive energies. I'm your guy, Toves. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing something that people might see as dystopian, utopian, conspiracy theory, wishful thinking, whatever. We're going to be talking about something that might happen if global warming is as real as people say it is. I believe in global warming to some extent, but that's not the topic for today. That's not the conversation for today. We'll have it maybe another day because I'm sure Seun will be ready to go into that one.
Mm.
But let me introduce you to the panel that will be scattering about this topic. We have the man that eats his chicken down to the bone, talking about the long one, Mr. Seun. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, thank you. I could have some chicken marinating in the fridge. I'll get to it soon.
I thought that was an innuendo when you said the long bone.
I
Oh, okay.
mean,
No,
Yeah,
pause,
the
no,
long
right?
please,
legs.
please, please, cleanse your mind, cleanse your mind. Keep it PG, keep it PG. Right. And speaking of which, you've heard his voice, the man that is never here to party, but is always here to have a good time with his latte. Please welcome Ade. How are you doing, sir?
I'm well, Toes. How are you?
I'm doing well as well. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And we also got the man back again, talking about any topics. Joni-Boy. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm lovely. Thanks, Dr. Toast, for having me, and lovely to meet the guys again.
Fa- Yes, you're welcome. Thank you for coming as well. And to our audience, thank you for always tuning in and thank you for always scattering those yarns with us. Now, first up, let's talk about the absolute basics of survival. Now, imagine a world where there's no industry, no jobs, no land, and people only need to rely on the fundamental survival skills like foraging, hunting, and fishing. So, if you had to find food in the wild, what would be your first step? Joni-Boy? No industries, no job, no land. We only have the old school skills that we're told: foraging, fishing, hunting. If you had
I
to
mean, I'll
find
pick
food, what would
fishing.
be your step?
In as much as I hate water, I'll pick fishing because I feel fishing is less. I'll say maybe less risky because you're just dealing with small fishes and stuff. But with hunting in the wild, you don't know anything could be there. You could have lions, you could have bears, you could have different animals. But with water, it's just less prone to risk. So I'll go with
Yeah,
fishing.
no jellyfish that can sting you without
Mm-hmm.
knowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
No sea snakes,
Hmm.
no sharks, nothing of those things.
No,
No
no, I'm not.
anacondas.
I'm not
Also,
going to the
where
deep,
is this
the deep
water
ocean.
now?
That's ocean. Now you're going to the ocean.
Yeah,
You're,
you've never capsized before.
Mm.
I don't need to go into the ocean now to do all those ones, right?
All right, and
Talking
then
about normal waters here, please.
right, and Sean, what would be your own strategy?
Well, I
Foraging,
mean,
fishing, hunting.
I think I'll go a mix of foraging and hunting. I think I'll look for fruits, berries and the likes, things that are probably easier, lower hanging fruits, quote unquote, that I can get. I think there's also like a health, those are easier to cook, easier to find, etc. I think I also look for, I guess, like land creatures. I'll try and keep it simple, squirrel and rabbits if I can find. Those are nice. But I'll try and I
Hmm.
wouldn't, maybe even pata like deer or something like that because those type of places are, especially in this part of the world, like the West. Maybe the worst thing you can find is a bear,
Mhm.
and bears are weird. They usually just want to like do their own thing. So yeah, I'll keep it simple. Water, fish. I don't know. Like a lot can go wrong.
Right, and Adi.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with along the same lines of show on this one. Hunt small, helpless animals. I know I sound horrible, but yeah, the low hanging fruit, easy to pick off.
Right.
Yes.
Well, speaking about low hanging fruit, I will choose to do foraging, just like fruits, like plant based. Basically, that's what I'm going to go with. I'm not
So
stressing myself
so
to
you
hunt
become a
animals.
vegetarian basically.
And well, I don't know if I will see it as vegetarian. I'm just like whatever I can eat, I eat. I'm not trying to hunt
Let me ask
anything.
you.
I'm not trying to go and fish. I'm not trying to kill myself. I'm
Let me
just
ask
going
you
to
a related
stay,
question.
safe and eat whatever I can.
Let me ask
Go
you a
on then.
question, Toves and guys. One of my favorite books is The Stand. In The Stand, everybody gets like a virus, and only a few people are remaining, and they have to rebuild civilization. Again, now you're hearing the Israel-Palestine conflict, Russia, Ukraine. So a world in which maybe nuclear apocalypse, everything is destroyed. So let's say this 2024 or 2025, everything is destroyed. We go into the worst case scenario. What's one thing you think you should have, whether it's batteries, your TV, a stash of chocolate cookies or whatever. What's one thing, one resource, if you could control and have a monopoly on one thing in the event of a modern day apocalypse, like what's that one resource you would like to control?
Knives.
Agua.
Wait,
Knives.
what? Knives?
Water.
Knives, yes, because you need knives for security, you need knives
Food.
for feeding, you need knife for hunting. So knives will be the one I'm going to control because you will need that resource. Some
I
people,
have knife. We'll see what you will drink.
well, I'm sure I can batter, but you need my knife more than I need your water. I can drink from
What's
the
what's
swamp,
Let's
what's
see.
like
something you you drink your urine? You wouldn't die from that.
yeah,
How
yeah.
many times can
If
you recycle your ring, Chief?
well, the thing is, the world
It's
has ended. I don't think we're going to have those clean water unless you're living like in the Himalayas or like in a mountainous region. Every water
no,
is
I
but
going to be
said
but
I
expensive.
water
have
is
a
such an
whole warehouse
essential
of water.
what's such an essential
It is
commodity. And I
actually.
think the thing with knives is that like basically if you have a sharp stone,
Mm.
if you have a tree, you can find the edges basically. Like unless you're trying to cut like onions and even they itself, what are you really doing?
Let's say, are those as smooth as knives? They're not.
Baba.
No, they are not.
Knife is
But
what I'm
in
going
this
for, my
in this
guy. You
scenario,
use knife
right?
to cut trees.
Security, I
Hmm.
think guns, if you're going with security controls, if you had control of guns, for example, yes, you would be a king. um
Yeah,
if
bullets will
you
run out. Knives, you don't need
But
bullets.
yeah, but guns. You're not gonna fit
Guns
with
need
guns,
bullets.
bro.
You don't have bullets.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure I'm
knife.
pretty sure you can
Anyways,
make
which one are you guys going for?
I'm pretty sure you can make bullets.
Oh,
I
this will
think let me see if I could
come
control
and
something.
rob my
I
warehouse.
like I like water, either water or guns,
Exactly. With my
honestly.
knife, I can come and get your water from you. Nah, my, with my
You're an
No,
knife.
American and you like guns, obviously.
No, but no, I mean
not if I
it's not
dump
just
one keg on your
it's not
head
just
from
even
upstairs.
about being an American, right? I think is for the security reasons that Dr. Tove said, and because in that kind of society, basically law and order has broken down, right? Which is what is preventing all of us right here from
Yes.
being and going and acting crazy is the threat of consequences. If you remove anything for that, what are you living for? Everything has been bombed. Your office is bombed. Everybody, most people. There's no president again, no governor, no policeman, nothing. Basically, it's what you can get for yourself. So I'll go back to square one. It's what you can amass for yourself. At that point in time, it's the strongest survive or the people with resources. So if you have a tactical advantage, like your house is on a hill, or if you have, security, basically. So with Addis water, I'll probably either pair with him or kill him with my gun and take his water. But I would, I
Aren't you
would get
gonna
my
run out of
gun.
bullets,
Then
like Dr. Pooh said?
by the time I run out of bullets, I've already amassed like a lot of resources. I'm probably threatening somebody with
What
the
if
knowledge of
you
how to make bullets
with
to make for me.
what if with my knife? I have that my skills like Jason Statham in Expendables, where you can no
Sure,
Sylvester
Faster than
Stallone.
bullets.
Yeah, faster than the
sure,
bullet through the knives. Yeah, how about
sure.
that?
I mean, at that point in
Yeah.
time, I've probably empowered a couple of people. So let's say I have AK-47 and I give a bunch of people handguns. Three of them have their guns pointed at you. If you're as
Mhm.
skillful as you said, probably in this environment, because strength attracts strength, right? People will probably gravitate towards the society, whichever society comes up, that can protect them and provide them the needs. Because in a society where there are people with guns and knives, also, that's probably where all the women are. That's probably where all the actual resources are. So in that society, if you have something, you
Yes.
come and you contribute. Basically, I will rule.
Mr. Seun has watched too much Walking Dead.
No,
Right.
yeah,
Let's stick with
definitely.
that scenario because I like that scenario.
I
Obviously,
do like The
adapting to the
Walking Dead.
environment to be
Mm.
very, very important. So, which kind of knowledge do you think you will need to pass down to the next generation in terms of like uses
That's a
of
great
plants,
question.
using of guns, using of knives? keeping of water. What kind of knowledge or skills do you think would be important to pass down in a survival situation where there's no industry, no land, no jobs, nothing?
Hmm. That's a good
Uh-huh.
question. Um, that's a
I'm
good
going to be
question.
naive and say kindness.
This guy,
But they're gonna
this
look
guy
look at you as being weak though.
I swear to
At some point.
God.
That's why I say I'm being intentionally naive.
No, man.
Right.
I mean, I think either something related to chemistry or physics is what I would say, right? Like just some knowledge of the world. So okay, if you want to create fire, strike two stones together. You should cook your food before you eat it. You should store your goods, for the winter time. Just some kind of like some combination of thick and bar, basically. Physics, chemistry, biology, and I'll add business. Just some knowledge around about this is how you preserve things. This is what you need to do in order to do this. Like something along those lines.
right.
What do they call those people in America that are always hoarding things before the end of the war?
Yeah, no.
Preppers. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So some people actually believe, that at some point, you need to have a bunker, somewhere
Hmm.
stored with like canned
Yeah.
goods, that can last for 20 years in case something does happen.
Survivalists. Yeah.
Survivalist.
I will go with the knowledge of psychology if I have it, and economics.
Mm.
Psychology because you need to be able to read people's behavior, whether they're being genuine or not, and economics because you people would always find a way to monetize whatever they're doing. Not monetize in terms of like money, but in terms of like having a better advantage compared to others. So you know when to leave one particular region and go somewhere else,
Yeah.
or know how to monopolize and read the situation to your advantage. So that's the kind of
Comparative
knowledge I'm going to pass
advantage.
down in that kind of situation. Exactly. Yeah, Johnny Boy,
But
which
what
one?
if,
Yeah, go on, Ade. Sorry.
I was going to say, what if they shoot the person before you finish doing your psychoanalysis? What if you eating one or two bullets?
Yeah,
You need to be able to read body language. You know when their body is getting very very unless you're dealing with a psychopath that is always calm in all situations. Most people are going to be agitated before they do something negative, isn't it? So at least you can read the situation and know I need to duck or I need to talk down this person. You can read in a
Right.
emotionally intelligent way.
Okay.
I'll go with economics just like you, and I think chemistry. Chemistry more like okay, how to like Seun Thomas said, light up fires and stuff like that. And then economics to know the optimum point to make your movements, the law of supply and demand and stuff like that.
mm,
Know when you're needed and when you're not needed. So I know what to offer the society and what not to offer them. Because as long as you're needed, I don't think they want to kill you though.
Right.
no, yes, that's
Fair enough.
that's
So
that's the
let's go.
that's the point. Let me ask a follow up real
Okay. So
quick.
I'm going to go on.
And it's along these lines, right? In this apocalyptic scenario, which institution should people band together and create first? Like, let's say we just woke up in the next morning, everything has been destroyed. We just get together. We need to set up something. What should it be? Police,
It has to be food
school
now.
slash education, hospital, or pick any other one. Like, what institution should the society create first if they wanted to start again?
Police.
I would say supermarket for food. I mean,
Police.
you have to
Okay,
survive first
trade.
of all before you start thinking
Yeah,
of other institutions. That's number one. If there's nobody, what institution are you going to build? I need to be alive to
I'll
build it, to build an institution, isn't it? So that'll be my first one.
trade. Okay,
I'll go with
Supermarket.
construction. I'll go construction industry and
okay.
engineering. Basically, you need to find a way to like the way out the because you said turning this knowledge and going back to the past,
Mm-hmm.
try to have that minimalist mentality from the beginning where you don't need a lot, you don't have to destroy so many things to build like a
Mm.
skyscraper, or like you don't need a 5 acre bedroom for yourself. So we need that kind of knowledge to make sure whatever has happened that created that situation does not happen again. So I would say more construction, more modern day engineering,
I would
is
cheat.
the industry I would think
I
should
would
that
cheat
will
and
start
answer my
first.
own. in answering my own question, I'll cheat and say government. Right, because the first thing you need to do is create, like, okay, this is the person that we're all listening to, right? These are the people that are making decisions, and this is how we come to decisions, whether it's by democracy, whether it's by one blow seven died strongest person, whether it's by a conquest of like a duel or something, whatever means by
No,
which we come to decision making. Let's establish it, even if we spend the
no,
first one
no.
year try to come to an agreement.
Maybe I'm going to channel the conservative part of my brain and say I don't want government, I don't want police. Everybody should do whatever you want to do. Protect yourself however you want to, as long
Hmm.
as you're not encroaching. We all
Okay.
agree as
I
a
don't,
society that we're
me,
not
I
going
don't know. I belong to the
to
school of
harm
thought
the
that
next person.
I belong
At
to the
that point
school
in
of
time,
thought
you've
that
already created the
police is
government.
not
The
really.
moment you say as long as we don't, you've already
No,
created
we've not.
a
No, I've
government
created.
function.
No, a community. We can have a community without having a government. Like we can have some
No, you
rules and
can't.
regulation,
You
and
can't.
in good faith, expect everyone to, because I want to shoot
You
whoever
cannot.
wants to come and challenge me. I don't wait for the police.
I
I don't
I
want
feel I don't
all
really
this
see the importance of
restriction.
the
Oh,
police. To be honest with you.
Akuku said police.
Yeah, I don't want police. I don't want
Yeah, but
government.
police
I
to
don't
me,
want to.
police. Do you think police is that
I
essential?
don't want to. I don't want to volunteer my power to someone else to say make decision on my behalf, and I can't take anything decision for myself because
No, but
I'm
what's to
giving you
stop
all that
somebody
authority.
from? What's to stop somebody in this your scenario, Doctor Toves? What's to stop somebody from taking everybody else as slaves and becoming a king? Right.
Uh-huh.
The moment you try
Uh-huh.
and establish some mutually binding standard, that in effect is the government, because somebody then has to sit outside of that standard and enforce it. Right. If both of us agree, right, the good faith you're saying, good faith becomes more difficult when it's three people, even more difficult with four people, five
Mm.
people, six people, seven. By the time we're talking about thousands of people, basically, that good faith doesn't exist, because there's always somebody who is looking at the other person's thing and saying, I want it, right? And I want to eat my cake and have it. And there needs to be an outside police or, like,
That's why I'm keeping
governing
my knives to
hmm,
stab and shoot.
anybody.
And your bullets are guns.
Hmm.
And why would you set up police first? Why police?
Just for the reasons Sean has mentioned, because people are wild, but we just pretend by wearing Arsenal jerseys and shit. Um, so yeah, we need police in place so people don't take advantage of the poor. I'm still on my Mother Teresa vibe.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah,
Fair enough. So let's continue with this dystopian scenario. Now, everybody here, and as well as the audience at home, obviously, you wake up one morning to find that the world has changed forever. Global economy collapse. All of the land has reverted to the wild, unclaimed state. There are no jobs, no supermarkets, no homes to return to. You guys are a part of a small group of survivors, which with each unique skills and background. So some people are economists, some people are hunters, some people are gatherers, some people are engineers, that kind of thing, right? Now, together with all your skills, you must forage for food, find water, build shelter, and protect each other from unknown dangers that lurk in the darkness. So, scenario one: imagine that you guys have to scout an area as a small group of people surviving together. You're scouting an area, and you have two options: a dense forest with edible plants, but also has dangerous wildlife, or an open plain with reliable water source but scarce food. Which one are you going to choose first? The forest with the dangerous wildlife or the open plain with water but scarce food?
Which one am I going to
me,
choose first? Um, I
me.
think it has to be the dense forest, right?
Now, which will
Because
you choose? Either or.
which did you choose
Green
for
plain.
what?
So, like,
The
to settle in, basically.
To settle in, do I have access to either place if I
Yes.
settle in one?
No.
So if I settle in one, I can't access the other
It's either
place.
or. Either you go to the,
And we're
no.
many, right? Is it just you or we're many?
Either you stay in a dense forest with all of the edible plants, but has dangerous wildlife, like some kind of king cobra and
Is it
the
just
jaguars,
me or
lions.
like we are a group of community going on?
No, a small group. You guys are a small group. You met together and you
Mm.
said, let's just stay together for safekeeping and let's use our knowledge and skills together.
Okay,
So
Ten
who
people
I'll
in
else
go
are you
with
other
going
the
for?
place.
I'll go with the plane,
quantify
the
small.
plane.
Let's say small.
Quantify
Let's
small.
say 10 people.
I'll go with the plane one.
Let's do the
I'll go with
plane.
the plane one.
Is there food in the plane?
Just because, like you said, wild animals. So yeah,
If
It's
there's
scarce.
water, my
There's
logic
water,
is
but
there's food.
there's
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 cast.
water, but the food is scarce and there's water. But the other side, there's a lot of plant edible, unlimited food, plant based, but there's dangerous wildlife.
Yeah, I'll go with the
As
plane
you're
because
eating
I
something,
will.
something is
I'll be able
eating
to
you.
sleep in
Yeah,
the the
I think I'd
the, the
rather
wild
stay in the
the,
dense.
the dense parts.
I think I'd rather stay in the dense part because thankfully human beings are at the
Yeah,
top of the animal food chain. Basically, if there's enough of us, obviously some people are going to die. Some people will die in the plane
Yeah, about
pit
10 people.
as well. But I think
hmm
human beings should be able to take over any environment, basically that you put them in. We have the intelligence to create
yeah,
barriers, to create weapons, to essentially protect ourselves from this thing. Obviously, those creatures belong to the forest and are of the forest, but it is in our will and nature
yeah,
to dominate whatever environment that we're in. And I think I'd rather be
yeah.
in the place where there's food and
Yes,
access
I
to
will.
resources.
Yeah, I would also choose the dense forest because I said people have different skills. So I'm going to assume one of those people knows how to like listen
Oh,
to animals and a survivalist. And
Right. What are
plus,
the odds,
anyway,
though?
there are plants that store water. Exactly, there are plants that store water. So I
but
think I'm going to go with food
that kind
all
of
all
skill and
time.
knowledge is hard to find though.
Anyways, it's all imaginary, so you can imagine whatever you want. Um,
And hard to replicate after something eat that guy that can listen. Now see
Yeah,
what will you
no.
not do?
Word.
Exactly. Or
right. So
one cobra stinks it
right.
and he dies.
So let's go to decision number two that we have to make now. So now imagine that everyone, like we all agreed. I know it's 50-50 in this group, in our conversation, but I'm going to assume that the audience at home are also settling for dense forest. So imagine that everyone has decided to settle in the forest and you've set up your camp and you start exploring your surroundings. Now, days passed and days have come by, and you develop routines for foraging, hunting, water collection from trees. You know the trees that are giving you water, all those kind of things. Then, however, one night you hear an unsettling noise nearby. The group needs to decide whether to investigate the sounds or fortify the camp. Which one are you going to vote for? Are you going to investigate the noises, knowing that there's going to be wildlife, dangerous wildlife, or you're just going to fortify the camp? Which one are you choosing?
Fortify your camp.
Who
I'll go for
who's going
45.
to look for bush baby?
So look for bush baby.
I'll go for
My
45.
friend, fortify your
Fortify your camp, bro.
please
Right.
fortify that
They say
camp.
prevention is better than cure, so I rather prevent any
Did you
nonsense happening than to
the
start seeking
photos?
cure. So, because me, you say it's better to have the known than the unknown. Going outside is unknown. You don't know what's outside, but at least protecting yourself, you know that whatever wants to come in cannot get in because you have protection, right? So,
Yeah, fair enough. I would say investigate. I would say investigate the noises because what if the noise is from like
Yeah, mighty
hog
white of you.
or from like cows?
that's why
what
the protection is going to protect you against them.
what if the noise are like chimpanzees, and chimpanzees are similar to
No,
human beings.
what
They
time of the day
also
are we
have
hearing this noise now?
access to other things that we don't know in the jungle. At night, it's at
Exactly.
night.
Okay, if it's at night, then definitely, certainly not. Right during the day, somebody will go out and scout the area. If you see cow dung or
Mm,
cow droppings, yeah, you know it's a cow, right? If you see
mm.
a large footprint, that you know is bush baby, or
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot or something, right? You go during the day and check the environment, but not in the night. That's some white people shit, man. That's how they die in horror movies.
Please, someone said it, not me.
Right.
That's
So
the unknown. I'm not ready to risk that.
right. Right. So everyone is saying fortify the camp, right? So
Fortify the camp.
but I'm going with investigate. But anyways, because I'm the host, I choose to cheat. Let's say you choose to investigate, right? And then you discover the noise actually was coming from another group of survivors. They seem friendly and
Oh,
well
why
equipped,
are they making straight
but
noises?
in this,
Nice.
Mm,
uh exactly. But
You're
trust is
going
hard to
on
come
some
by.
Walking Dead here now.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Uh,
mm,
trust is hard to come by, and both group realize
the
that you can
governor.
benefit from each other. But obviously, you also know that merging
Exactly.
is going to create conflict. So, which one are you going to do? Are you going to merge with both groups, or are you going to keep them separate? Which one are you voting for?
I would say
Separate.
the moment you
Just
meet,
based on working there, I'm going to go separate, please.
Mm.
There's going
yeah,
to be
I
But
clashes.
they
think the
have
moment,
skills as well that.
We've been surviving without their skills.
Exactly. And it's going to bring clashes between both camps. So it's better to just stay separate. That's what I
guy,
feel.
the moment you
Mm.
meet, your
They
lives
say don't
become
fix what is not
intertwined.
broken.
Mhm.
The moment you meet, they become
Mm.
basically three options, right? One, you guys mutually agree to work together. Two, you decide to take what they have. Or three, they take what you have. In this environment that you're describing, you come across another set of human beings who are making strange noise in the middle of the night. There are probably things that you lack in your own group or in your own camp that they have, or vice versa. Right? You're not living there like just, okay, you know what, nice to meet you guys, other human beings in this strange world where there are things killing us at night. No. That's just not our nature, right? And I think it's important, like, to
Mm.
think about how we got here essentially as a civilization. It's not in our nature to just leave things alone.
Yes.
It's not in our nature to be cooperative, to be, mutually cooperative. This is the result. What you see now is the result of hundreds of years of civilization and us getting it wrong and killing ourselves and raping and poisoning ourselves and the environment, for a long period of time. There's absolutely no way a hierarchy will
Mm.
not come about, even hierarchies between and within groups. So yeah, somebody's getting a spear in their chest, on and their women and goats are coming along.
Right, but again, doesn't isn't that the same thing that's happening right now in the world where we are kind of like forming different groups and subgroups and everyone's taking to their own clique,
Yeah.
But
hoping
it
that they don't
is
trust the other side. The conservatives don't trust the liberals don't trust the conservatives, even
Yeah.
neighbors don't trust
Even
neighbors.
the
It
BRICS,
can be
a lot of countries
social.
are trying to join the BRICS. And they're
Yeah.
trying to have their own currency aside the dollar.
Even at that, people want to keep to themselves. Like we obviously in West Africa, the newly group of West African countries, the Burkina Faso's and the Senegal are trying to merge and keep away from the rest of the world. It's the same thing that's happening now, isn't it?
No, yeah, it happens in cycles now, right? In the last election, and I hate to keep bringing it back
Mhm.
to Nigerian politics, but you saw tribal this thing, yeah, yeah, Yoruba Ronu, this one, that one, right?
Mm.
This, it's our nature, basically, at a fundamental level. The Democrats hate the Republicans hate the Democrats. When the British people came to America, they killed a bunch of Native Americans first. Even the Native Americans, they were killing each other and scalping each other, and it's in our nature. The difference between us and animals is
Mm.
that we can talk, we can write about our experiences, and we can communicate, those experiences basically to each other and for the benefit of history. um but there's no way around it. It's just how we're wired.
Right. Um. Right. So let's do some would you rather to round up as well. And obviously, the audience at home you can participate as well. Just leave yours in the comment section below. And while you're scrolling down, press the like button and subscribe if you're new or yet to do so. And you can also check out our other podcast as well, Run of Play on YouTube. Thank you very much. And subscribe to that one as well. You'll see Seun and Joni-Boy in his element. So, would you rather be able to build a new shelter in this dystopian environment? Would you rather be able to build a new shelter from natural materials every week or live in a makeshift shelter but constantly repair it?
So you say
But
build
what are
first
those
one build
options
what?
again?
So build a new shelter, build a place to stay, shelter with from natural materials every week. So
Okay.
maybe use like palm leaf and your that the week is the leaf is now rotting,
Okay.
or you live in a makeshift shelter, some wooden ones, some Judge of the Jungle things, but constantly repair it. Which one would you rather do?
It's basically the same thing.
Exactly. That's what I was about to say.
But one is not every week though. One is like every two or every other week or month. But which one would you rather do?
Why not just
Whichever one is less hassle.
yeah.
In your
So
mind, which one?
I'll go with the second one, the one where the Judge of Jungle, just because I feel that one
No,
tends to be more maybe safer.
no, you don't want to use organic materials, natural environmental materials. No?
I don't use no palm leaves and palm trees, man. I don't trust them. Can they weather the storms and the whole heavy rain downpours? They can't.
Oh wait, so
I'm
you
going
mean
with
like
them.
Right.
a a rundown cement or block building from times before versus having to
Those
build.
kind of one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, of course,
Yes.
I'll go with the
Yes.
one that has the insulation now, right? And
Mm,
the setup basically that you need. Obviously, over time, yeah, you can repair it now.
right. So I'll just do two more as we round up as well. Would you rather, let's assume that there's limited fire, right? You can only use fire for one or two things. So taking out everything else, right? Would you rather be able to make fire every night for warmth, or to make a fire only when you need to cook?
Hmm. Fire is limited.
That's difficult because you use time.
I would cook just before bed.
Maybe I-
That's a nice way to go around it. I know, which one are you going for?
Well, if I'm using it for one, nothing say I can't roast one lizard over it as well at the same time.
Exactly.
No,
Okay,
but it's
okay.
either or. Unless you want to do Seun's tactic.
That's basically what he's saying now, right? You
It-
cook and then you sit next to the pot as it's
Yeah.
cooking, basically.
So
Ah,
you're cooking. You're cooking. So basically,
yeah,
you're
but if you're cooking, but the warm for night is to sleep and stay warm. I don't know if you've seen all these survival shows where you
Right,
just have
right,
to make
right. Yeah.
a little fire in the night to keep you warm in the jungle. So that situation, either only for that one or just to cook.
why can't I roast
so
something on
I
the
can cook it
fire?
and then sleep off now and then
No,
eat
I
in the
think
next.
maybe the risk is
Eh,
that
Exactly.
if you sleep off like
No.
this now, the fire will burn. You have to be awake to put off the fire because you're burning fire in the forest and you're probably burning your house is
I
flammable
mean, you're
too.
gonna put it off, right? Because
Um,
Or if you put it on and then you sleep, it's going to burn the food. It's just
yeah,
going
it's
to burn the
burning
no, no, no.
forest. You
Like
cannot
everything. It's
eat.
burning
what's gonna
everything
happen?
overnight.
You don't need even when I put on my heat right now, right? I don't put it on
Mm.
all through the night because I mean I don't want to fry myself, right?
Yeah, but in this situation, yes, what are
No,
you
and
going to do, this man?
yes, in this situation you need it.
All these politicians that we have on this show.
No, I would say I would
Oh,
answer politically also.
I'll
Either
probably go with
just
the
cook
food.
but
just before bed.
I
I'll
found the
probably go with.
answer.
I'll probably go with food.
I found the answer. I'll warm it for warmth, but I'll be a vegetarian, so
Oh,
I, I won't need to eat hot food. I'll just be eating berries and grapes during the day, and then at night I'll sleep warm.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same as well. I'm going to, use it at night and then live on edible plants and vegetation and all of that for the day. Fair enough. And then the last one for today, before we go watch an interesting game. Would you rather move to a new location every month? Talking about a nomadic lifestyle, right? Would you rather move to a new location every month to find resources, or stay in one place and risk running out? Let's
I
see
like
your
to
sense of
move
adventure
just.
on
I
this
like to
one.
move just because I believe I'm one of those people that believes in like you learn more when you move around. So traveling is part of education. That's why I see it. So I'm going to love to move around because, like you said, staying there's reason it's going to finish, and that's true. Definitely going to happen, right? So I prefer to move
Mhm.
around, and I'm following the.
But you might die as well. You don't know what's out there
I
to
mean,
eat you, kill you,
staying
strike you,
back, you
shoot
can
you.
die. It's a 50-50. There's no guarantee if I stay back, I'm not going to die. So I rather travel and see what's out there for me.
Hmm. It's interesting. I remember Joni-Boy saying something about the fear of the unknown, or the unknown is always worse than the known, or
Yeah, but
Hmm.
something.
now you say you're gonna run out though. Staying, you remember that
There's a risk, doesn't
There's
mean
a
it will
risk,
happen.
yes.
in this
In
scenario,
your house, there's a risk it can cave in, but it won't happen by God's grace. So
Mm.
no, I'll stay. I'll stay. At least I know my environment. I'm comfy. I can look after myself. The food thing will find a way. But outside, it's probably 100% chance I'm getting thrown a spear by Mr. Shim. So
yeah, yeah. Nah, it's good to have it. It's good to have a home base. I think the foraging, the going out to explore, it's better to do that and then come back to your base. Basically,
home base.
it's not about being fear of the unknown. I think there's a limit to what you can even carry around with you, which means that you have to be successful in your foraging, often for it to survive if you're exploring, basically, because unless you have like a cow that can carry, a lot of or a load bearing animal or vehicle, basically,
Mm.
you're not going to be able to carry that much, which means you have to be successfully finding food and stuff every time.
I have to leave some things behind.
Right. So audience as well, which situation are you going to prefer? I know I said that was the last one, but let's do the very, very last one because this one
We didn't
is a
get your own
killer.
answer. Which one are you picking, Doctor Tubes?
My answer is I'm going to be a nomad and go find somewhere every month. I don't mind, explore new places.
Yeah.
So speaking about adapting and thriving, would you rather have deep knowledge in this situation, deep knowledge of medicinal plants, or master the art of building sustainable shelters? Which one would you rather have? The knowledge of knowing all the medicinal plants, basically you're the doctor, or have the skill of building sustainable shelters, basically a construction, real estate, whatever guy.
So I'm going to answer based on Walking Dead. I'll go with the second one, construction. Just because I feel with the construction guy, you're more likely going to be the head of the camp. So I'll go with that one. And I don't. What are the odds? How many people are going to get sick though? What are the odds?
Lots. They say hi. That's
yeah,
why just a
yeah,
fuck with
that
guessing.
would,
But then you need coverage and protections though.
While Ade is thinking in deep thoughts, I would say I'll rather have the knowledge and understanding of medicinal plants so I can help other people as a kind and good guy that I am.
Mother
And also to
Teresa,
treat
Mother
myself and my family.
Teresa.
Um, I'll call myself Saint Nicola. Saint Nicola.
mm,
Yeah, to help people at Christmas time. Yeah,
nah, I think I'll go with like Joni-Boy on this one. I think construction will be very, very, very important because even you, Mr. Medicine Man, you need somewhere to do it so that rain will not beat you. Because if rain should beat you, then if rain should fall on you, you catch a cold and then you die. Right?
what if I'm living? I found a nice cave that I'm living in. You know,
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
if you
that's
live
me.
in a
That's me
cave,
doing that for you though.
even
I did
even
it
if you
for
live
you.
in a cave, right, you will still be exposed to either because you're sleeping on hard ground, your back will cramp up and you will die, or the cave would fall
then I'll
in
make my
and you will die.
medicine.
Or like yeah, there are just so many things that could happen to you. Like if you think about it, right, one of the most it's such a mundane thing, but the invention of shelter, essentially knowing that we need a square thing or a box over our head, it's a very profound but also very important like feature of civilization. So yes, you need
But
shelter.
the same way you're saying the cave might fall in, like Adi said, the shelter might also cave in. What if
Right.
the guy was is what if the engineer guy had beef with you and did not give you the right materials, because he want to get rid of you or try to charge you more and because you didn't pay what he wanted you to pay and he
What is
gave
more
you a
likely
cheap
to happen? That
household.
something bad happens to you in a cave. In a cave, right? What if the owner of the cave comes back from because caves are never just like caves. There are animals and creatures that stay there,
Yeah.
bears and all sorts of
Yeah, yeah,
things.
yeah. We'll find a way to live. We'll find a way to live together. I'm a good neighbor.
You will
I don't
live
create
inside
trouble.
that. You will live inside the beer.
Your
Let me
Geico,
ask.
your
Let me ask
Geico,
one
Abby,
last.
your
What last
Geico.
would you rather? I saw the trailer
Well,
for
Ade
this
has not
movie.
answered yet. Ade has not
Post-Apocalyptic.
answered yet. Sorry.
I'll go with the medicine thing because I think building a shelter, like you don't need to be a genius to know. Okay, you can build something, but
Right.
having that knowledge of this can cure diabetes, this can cure obesity, this,
This can
yeah,
deal with
yeah,
pain, at least pain as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I think that's more rare than any genius. Sorry, any even animals build shelter. So
Touche.
Yeah,
then
fair enough.
again, an orangutan was putting medicine on his cheek the other day as
But
well.
that
I
was
don't know
the
if you
but
saw
that's
this.
but that's the only one. Or that's one of many.
Yeah,
It has a special
exactly.
skill. Yeah.
So it's rare. That's why they were celebrating it as a big deal. So yeah, medicine over
Yeah.
construction.
Anyway, shout out to all the people that gave up their life for us to be able to have this paracetamol and pain receptors and all of
Mm.
that stuff. Thank you very much and rest in peace. Yeah, you said you had one would you rather question, Sean.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for Godzilla versus Kong, and this is totally left field here. But in this post-apocalyptic world, chances are it was a nuclear something, and all the animals or things are evolving, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
rats are huge; they have claws, or the dogs can fly or something. Like everything has evolved. Um, would you rather be in a situation where the animals have evolved or the plants have evolved?
Plants have evolved. I don't want
Plants, because I feel animals,
I don't
yeah,
want the regular pigeon that is in my back garden to be some kind of hybrid that can eat and kill me.
exactly.
So
Mm.
Like
I can stay
we're
away
really
from the
struggling with
forest if I
lions and
want to.
other animals to add like rats and squirrels and stuff like nah.
Yeah, just imagine the regular bee that's meant to just
Now what
chill
happened?
On the
Change
flower is
change for
actually
the
hunting
change.
you to
Rather than
suck
being
your
on
blood.
top in this level now, you go bottom
Yeah,
because there's
yeah,
no way you're surviving.
honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so definitely I'll choose
Plants.
plants.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
long as they don't evolve to have legs and start running around.
No, that's why I mean
Yeah,
the evolution I'm thinking
There-
about is more around. I think assuming both become predators, assuming human beings exist like on the bottom of the food chain in both scenarios. So now we eat plants and we also eat
Mhm.
animals. Assuming we wake up in a world where the plants could eat you, because there are some the Venus flytrap, for example, it doesn't eat human beings per se, but it eats like little like insects and stuff. So imagine if like all the plants
Yes.
develop the ability to eat and feed on humans versus animals develop that ability. Which world would you rather be in?
Plants are kind.
I'll
Yeah,
still
no.
go with the
No, I'll
plants.
still go with animals.
You go with kindness.
Yeah, yeah, I'll
Oh,
go with animals. Because at the end of the day, I can stay away from the jungle because you have to go to where they
right.
are for them
Okay.
to eat you. But animals can come to where you are.
Exactly.
So
Live
yeah,
for you.
I
Sure.
choose to
Okay.
stay safe.
Still
I'm
plants.
not all these kind of guys that go and stay in Australia and then saying, "Oh my God, there's snakes in my
And
house."
I've
Stay
also
away
seen
from their
videos
stay
of
away from
like
their community. They'll stay away from you.
big. Comes so scary.
Yeah.
One last would you rather? Would you rather the world end in a nuclear or scientific apocalypse versus a natural one?
A natural one.
Natural one,
Natural, please.
but the natural one is the sun burning everybody to death,
Some or yes, or like
Or flood,
the earth
or water.
completely opening
Flood.
up and
swallowing everybody.
Please.
or water.
No, I'll still go with the natural one. The natural one,
Natural.
yeah. If it's not hurricane, if it's not like a hurricane, then it's like
you
earthquake,
can't
boof,
choose.
or sun just the
You can't
ozone
choose.
layers. I'm giving my
Natural means natural.
if in this scenario,
God.
It's kind of what
like
kind of questions are these, please?
because natural is wide. It can be wildfire, it can be
The choice that
earthquake, it can
brought
be
us to
hurricane, it can be the
the
ozone layer
apocalyptic
You're
fully
like
toast.
choosing
melting.
between fry pan and fire here.
The
There's
choice
choosing
that brought
between
us
fry
to
pan for me is choosing.
apocalypse.
I mean, they're the same thing. They're the same side of the coin. Like literally.
No, not natural always. I'm not doing
Natural.
natural
Team
because
natural.
that's why I don't like government because governments end with things like nuclear weapons. Everyone is stacking up on nuclear weapons to fight other governments. So
Okay,
natural.
okay. I know I said that was the last one, but this is really the last one.
Oh,
Post-apocalyptic scenario. Um, zombies or aliens?
Aliens.
zombies,
That's
aliens. I don't know their strength or weaknesses, so I'm going to stay away from that. But zombie, you just have to stab them in the head, and with my sharp
Mm,
knives in this
okay.
situation,
yeah. I think I go with
aim
zombies
for
too.
the head.
Just cause of Walking Dead again. Yeah, I go with zombies.
And also, if they bite me, I just also become a
Come
walking
on,
dead. Why not? Yeah, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
still running around the
aliens.
air. Zombie.
Yeah, I think zombies too, because
All
the
right
aliens, you
then.
never know. Like maybe they'll be like, "Oh, let's open the stomach and see what's inside." This creature. The zombie just wants to bite you.
Yeah,
Zombies as well. No, we don't know much about aliens. So yeah.
exactly. So, and any final words on this episode, Johnny Boy?
Hopefully, we don't have any post-apocalyptic world. I beg, please. I don't like all
Any
this.
such
Would you
thing.
rather? Please.
Yes,
I-
and
We
Mr.
had we
Show,
had
any
one four
final
years
words?
ago. We had one 4 years ago, and the world was crazy. I'm not ready to go back to that.
Fair enough.
When I had COVID, I wanted to die. Then imagine going through all these scenarios. No way, please.
Yeah, I
Seun,
mean,
any
I think
final words on this
just the
post?
way technology is evolving, so is the possibility for great chaos. It's possible that we will see it in our own lifetime, but I think we are headed in that direction.
Please, not my lifetime. I'm fine with that.
Fun.
God.
And Mr. Seun, Mr. Adi, any final words on this episode?
Aliens are friends you've not met yet.
Any
Yeah.
any any study to back that up?
Right.
Another episode.
Thank you. Right. I hope that you, our audience, have enjoyed the conversation today and you've giggled as much as we have. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section below. And you can also, if you don't want to leave it on YouTube, you can just click the link in the episode description and leave that on our social media, and we'll discuss them in a future episode. Until next time, remember this, what we are saying right now could easily end and we go back to the basics. So sharpen your skills, both your AI skills relevant for the present, as well as your physical and manual skills that might be relevant for whatever reasons. All right.
Get your
Until
knife.
next time, stay sharp and use your brain. SCFR.